So hi everyone, and welcome to another episode in Virtual Basics. Today, I will be teaching you some basic shortcuts that you can use everywhere. But be careful when you use a specific keybind, for you may get into trouble. I'll tell you the trouble when we get into that part of our video. So last time, I created a basic tutorial on how to use the Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. Now, I'll be showing you some shortcuts that you can use to make your work more faster and more efficient. Some of these shortcut keys will work for all the Microsoft Office that was mentioned. And as for the Microsoft Excel, most shortcut keys has been tackled already. So I will teach you the very most basic keys where you can use. And this can also help if ever you made a mistake. So without further ado, let's get right to the video. So first up, let's tackle about the keyboard shortcuts, whether you are in desktop or laptop. So first up is going to be Ctrl A, where it will select all contents of the page. Let me hit Ctrl A. As you can see, the whole document was highlighted. So next up is Ctrl B, where it will bold the highlighted selection. So let's highlight the word Virtual Basics and hit Ctrl B. Now, our text Virtual Basics is now in bold font. So, next up is Ctrl C, where it will copy the selected text or image. So, let's highlight the word Virtual Basics and hit Ctrl C. The word Virtual Basics is now copied in the system. I'll show you how to print out what you copied later in this video. Next up is Ctrl D, where it will open up the font preferences window. So let's hit Ctrl D. As you can see here, we have the font section where you can edit your text with. So let me close this up. Next up is Ctrl E, where it will align the line or selected text to the center of the screen. So let me highlight the word Virtual Basics and hit Ctrl E. As you can see, our highlighted text was aligned to the center of our screen. So, next up is Ctrl F, where it will open up the find box. So let's open up the find box using Ctrl F. This is where you can search something specific on a very long document. Somewhere in this document, I put the word hello. So let's type hello. And as you can see, there is one result, and it showed me the location of the word hello in my document. So let's close up our navigation. Next up is Ctrl I, where it will italize the highlighted selection. So let me highlight the word Virtual Basics and hit Ctrl I. So now, our Virtual Basics is now in italicized font. Next up is Ctrl L, where it will align the line or selected text to the left of the screen. So let me highlight the word Virtual Basics and hit Ctrl L. As you can see, previously our text was aligned to the center. Now, it was brought to the left. Next up is Ctrl M, where it will indent the paragraph. So, when we hit the Ctrl M, it will create an indentation to our paragraph. As for in Microsoft PowerPoint, Ctrl M will create a new slide. So to show that, let's open up our PowerPoint and hit Ctrl M. And as you can see, we have created a new slide in our PowerPoint. So let's go back to our Microsoft Word. Next up is Ctrl N, where it will open up a new and blank document window. So let's hit Ctrl N. As you can see, we have a new fresh document. This works for all the Microsoft Office. So let's go back to our first document. So next up is Ctrl O, where it will open dialog box or page for selecting a file to open. So let's hit Ctrl O. This is a shortcut way for you to open other documents you have previously created or opened. So let's go back to our document. Next up is Ctrl V, where it will open the print window. So let's hit Ctrl V. This is where all the printing option will happen. So once again, let's go back to our document. Next up is Ctrl R, which will align the line or selected text to the right of the screen. So let me highlight the word Virtual Basics and hit Ctrl R. Now, previously our text was aligned to the left. Now, our text is aligned to the right of our screen. Next up is Ctrl S, where it will save the open document. Another command in saving a work is using Shift F12. So when we hit Ctrl S, it will open the Save tab. So let's go back to our document. Next up is Ctrl U, where it will underline the selected text. So let's highlight the word Virtual Basics and hit Ctrl U. So now we have an underline to our word Virtual Basics. Next up is Ctrl V, where it will paste. Remember our Ctrl C, where it copied our text Virtual Basics. In this command, it will print out the one we copied using Ctrl C. So when we hit Ctrl V, and there you go, you will see the one we have copied in the system using Ctrl C. Next up is Ctrl W, where it will close the currently open document. When you do this without saving, the system will give out a prompt if you would like to save first your work or not. So let's hit Ctrl W. So like I said, it will give out a prompt if you would like to save first your work or not. So let's close this up first. So next up is Ctrl X, where it will cut selected text. So let's highlight this word Virtual Basics and hit Ctrl X. This will completely remove everything that you have highlighted. Next up is Ctrl Y, where it will redo the last action performed. And lastly, Ctrl Z, where it will undo the last action. So let's hit Ctrl Z. So as you can see, we brought back the word Virtual Basics that we have cut before. Now, this time, let's get into the mouse shortcuts. So first up is click, hold, and drag. This selects the text from where you click and hold to the point you drag and let go. So, next up is double click. If double clicking a word, it will select the complete word. So for example, when we click this, it will open up a cursor. But when we double click, it will highlight this word basic. So next up is triple click. It will select the line or paragraph of the text where the mouse is triple click. So when you double click, it only select one word, while when you triple click, it will select the whole line or paragraph. So next up is Control Mouse Wheel. It will zoom in and zoom out of your document. Some of the notable shortcuts here doesn't only apply in Microsoft Office. These are some of the shortcuts that you can use anywhere in this digital world. Ctrl A, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Ctrl X, Ctrl Y, and Ctrl Z. In using Ctrl C, you need to be careful on documents or words that you attempt to copy. If used wrong, you will be filed with copyright infringement. To avoid getting copyright, you need to give credit to the author and add any possible link or information towards the author of something you attempt to copy. As an example is going to be through a citation. To make things more easier for you, always assume that the work is copyrighted, so that way you always remember to give credits to the author. So that's about it. I hope you guys were able to learn something, and hopefully these shortcut tips can help you create those documents in no time. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You can leave any comment down the comment section for any tutorial video or tips that you would like for me to create. So, that's about it. Don't forget to tune in always.